Hey friend, welcome to the Coach B Experience podcast. We have another action-packed, value-stacked, real and raw episode for you. Remember, it does not benefit you to just listen. I want you to remember three things. Take fast action, get a result, and grow from your experiences. You have power in your choice. Let's dive into today's experiences. All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another experience of the Coach B podcast. I don't know what episode this is, right? What episode is this? Like 10, 11? I should keep track of this stuff, right? But so today's topic is going to be about porn, and this is such an important topic for single men because the best way I can explain this is goes down with dopamines, hormones, and how addictive porn is, and the destructive nature of porn that we tend to really forget. I think, I know society glorifies the man that can get a whole bunch of women, that is the most attractive, and society glorifies even women that are half naked, women that are naked, whatever you want to say, but society glorifies porn. Society glorifies sex, right? And they make it as if the trophy of being a man is having as many women drooling over you, longing over you, right? Trying to have sex with you, and you as a single man having sex with as many women and almost keeping them as trophies on a shelf and like a tack on your button for each woman that you get, and saying I slept with her, and the longer your number, the better, because it gives you bragging rights to boast as how much of a man you are because you slept with so many women. And this leads me into the notion of porn, is because porn is one of the most deadliest things to a single man. And the reason why I say this is because it skewers our minds. Right, it actually destroys our frontal cortex. It destroys that. So I actually have a friend in medical school. We were talking about this, and she was telling me that porn actually distorts the mind. It actually kills your dendrites in your brain cells, right? Because you're getting so much dopamine hit, right? And what is dopamine? Should we talk about this first, right? So dopamine is a chemical that gets released into the body when you have a pleasurable event. So the best way I can say it, when you have sex, you get this dopamine rush, right? When you eat a piece of chocolate, you get a dopamine rush. When you have a good memory, when you get a good hug, that's a dopamine rush, right? And when you watch porn, and porn leads usually to masturbation, when you watch porn, you get this high, intense dopamine rush, right? And which leads usually to masturbation, which causes you to get this high dopamine rush. And what happens is your body gets desensitized to that dopamine rush. You see, so that dopamine rush shouldn't come to you all the time, especially in heavy doses, right? Because when you get it in heavy doses, that turns into an addictive pattern. So people that do cocaine, that are addicted to drugs or drink alcohol, they are looking for this dopamine rush. That's what causes this addiction to happen. Right, and I'm also going to speak on the side of addiction as well later on. But the thing is that since we're getting this dopamine rush to porn, we are longing for this rush 24/7. We're like, oh man, I need to get something. It's almost like a fix. You need to get it. 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 And as a single man, the one thing you really want to do is you want to guard yourself from that. You want to really guard yourself. You want to protect yourself, and you want to build what I say. You need to build the power to say no to porn. You don't want to overcome porn, because the only way you overcome porn is when you die, right? Every day you have to choose between saying yes to yourself or saying yes to porn. And yes, it is a hard battle, but every day gets easier, right? Some days are better than others. But I'll tell you this, in my personal experience with this, is that I had to. It took me a long time to conquer this, right? It took me a long time. There was months where I would go and I would be absolutely perfect. I mean, I would be like, no, I don't want to. No, I don't want to, right? And then the flip side, some nights I was like, I couldn't even go to sleep without my mind racing and thinking about it and saying, oh my God, we just watch a little bit, just watch a little bit. So why am I sharing this with you? Right? You might be thinking, well, why am I sharing this with you? Because you already know I don't mind being uncomfortable. I don't mind being vulnerable. But the reason I'm sharing this with you is because I found that when I stopped watching porn, when I stopped masturbation, when I stopped all that, right, my happiness went up, self esteem went up, right? The ability to communicate with myself went up, right? The dopamine rushes were going away, but also that self discipline and self control skyrocketed because I could say no. I literally could say no. And the power in being able to have your choice back and not having porn control your brain and tell you what to think and what to do. Guys, I'll tell you this right now is that when I wake up, I dress because I want to dress a certain way. I don't dress because I'm like, well, what's gonna happen if I dress like this? Well, if I put this on, then this is gonna attract these type of people. If I put this on, this is gonna attract these type of people. This is what there was so many things that porn was governing in my life that I didn't even know. But once I stopped, I started seeing, I was like, wow, I can't believe it was governing this. I can't believe it was governing that. I can't believe it was telling me to do this, and this. Like, it was really skewing the choices that I was making. It was influencing me in greater senses than I knew. And you'll find that as well when you go through your own journey and your own experience with this, right? So, I just want to say, this, before we really break down the course of action, you need to understand that simple concept is that you will never overcome the battle of saying yes or no to porn only through death. So let's kind of get into this a little more. And I think the first step when you want to overcome porn, the first thing you need to do is you need to understand and accept is porn a priority that you want to get over. Right? If it is, yes, good. If it's not, just get off this episode and just click out, right? Because then it's not for you. You're just gonna get upset at everything I say. So I don't really care if you get upset, but just the fact is. But first and foremost, you need to be honest and stop lying to yourself about your views on porn. All right? Men love to downplay their weaknesses. They like to say, "Well, you know what? I'm not addicted to it, but I watch it sometimes." Right? Or, "Well, I can stop at any time." Right? You need to first get honest with yourself and say, "Hey, I'm addicted to this. Boom. I need to overcome this." Right? And this is what I like to tell myself is, hey, this is a phrase that I use for myself is, my name is Bertrand. I'm addicted to porn, but I'm going to be able to say no to porn and gain control of my mind again. Right? I believe that just because I'm addicted now doesn't mean I'm going to be addicted forever. Right? I believe that I have a choice every single time that thought comes into my mind. I can either say yes or no to it. And that's why I believe the first step for every single man is to be honest and stop lying to themselves about about where they're at with porn, right? A lot of men, we like to downplay the ability, our ability to say no to porn. But in actuality, it's destroying us and it's controlling our actions, our feelings, our perceptions daily. We need to accept that we're addicted and stop lying to ourselves, right? Man, we need to do this. Because if we don't, we're just going to keep making up excuses. We're going to keep making up false stories. So the next thing we need to do is we need to build your inner circle. And when I say your inner circle, you need to get men around you men that are going through it. So that way you're not alone when you're going through this. And then secondly, you need men in your inner circle that have overcome this. Right? You need a circle of men that you guys all talk about this and you guys are all open to being vulnerable and 100%, not even 100%, 1,000% vulnerable and truthful about where you currently are in this. Right? If you don't have a group that you don't have an inner circle, then join the One Choice, One Habit group, because that's where all of us as men are. All right? That's where we share. That's where we talk. That's where we talk about things. This is where we are open. This is our quote unquote safe space to be open and talk about different things like this and issues that arise. But the biggest thing and why this is, I think this is probably one of the most powerful steps you can do. If you do nothing else but really hone in and get this one step, this would be powerful for you, and everything else will come easier if you have this, because other men are gonna hold you accountable. I've said this before. It's our responsibility as men to be leaders, but also men love accountability. Men love knowing that, hey, people are counting on me. Men are natural providers, right? Not just income, but in all areas of life, right? So it's natural for a man to want to be held accountable, to want to be held to a standard, to want to have these values, right? Men long for that. Men want that. Men want other men around them that's going to hold them accountable. We all want to be connected, right? But there's a certain level of I don't want to say like men need connection from other men to feel empowered and valued within their own community, not only their family, right? There's a different connection between other men and when you have a connection with your wife, but that's something else I'm talking about. But this is for single men. You want that connection with other men, whether they're married or single, to help empower you, right? And when you build that inner circle, you're gonna have that accountability. Excuse me. You're gonna set those standards on the way you should live. All right. And you do not want to be that man in your circle that's always coming to your inner circle saying, man, I kind of failed this week. Man, I kind of failed this week. Why? Because all the other men are rising up, and you're gonna feel the need to rise. Right? You're gonna be like, man, I don't want to be the weakest link in my chain. Right? Even if you are the weakest link right now, doesn't mean you're gonna be that forever. Right? And that's gonna make you want to rise as a man. It's gonna make you want to do better for yourself. That's gonna want to make you to be better. Right? So maybe last week you're tracking your progress and you failed 3 times, but then this week you only failed 1 time. Like, congratulations to you, because why? You're getting better. And when you have other men around you, you're gonna see how much easier it is to overcome. You're gonna see that, hey, you know what? I have other men around me. I can see other people, right? You guys are gonna be able to connect on something, and you guys are gonna want to be held accountable to that. And you're gonna be like, okay, great. I know I can do this now because other men around me are doing this as well. And if they have done it, then I can do it too, because they're gonna be speaking into you and telling you, hey, you can do this. Hey, you can do that. Hey, I know you can do it, right? And then even giving that tough love too and say, hey, what are you doing? What's wrong? What's going on? Shaking you up a little bit to get you motivated, to get you sparked up to hold yourself accountable, and the group is gonna hold you accountable. I think accountability is so huge, and I'm gonna keep pushing this, right? So the second thing is you have to identify what you are missing, right? The why factor, right? Understanding this is also great. But when you have this, when you understand this, you're gonna understand why you're getting triggered, right? So what does this mean? So this means for me, this personally, the reason why I was watching porn was because I wanted to be in a relationship. I wanted to feel love, and the only way that I felt love was by giving love, was by having sex, right? Or by watching porn and masturbating. I felt, okay, boom, that's me getting that release and me getting that love. So I was missing that love, right? That love piece from other people, because I didn't love myself, but I felt like I needed this something else to fill me. Like I felt like I had this hole. And I was like, man, I'm missing love. I'm missing love. I'm lonely. I feel lonely right now. Right? So I was feeling that with the gap of porn and masturbation, right? Because porn and masturbation usually go hand in hand. But for me, I was watching porn because I needed this feeling to feel love. I was like, man, I want to feel love. I want to feel love. I want to feel love. And I was watching porn to get that feeling. So for you guys, I want to say, most men will say, because I'm horny or because I saw some picture, that's why. But dive deeper than that. You have to ask yourself, what am I missing? Man, you're watching porn because it gives you something that you don't feel you already have. And like I said, I watched porn when I felt lonely. I was lacking in love. I would watch it. See, if I wanted to feel good, I watched it as well. Man, you have to understand at your core, what is driving you to watch porn? What is pushing you? What is telling you, hey, you gotta go watch it? What's forcing you to do that? Right? What emotion is coming up in you that's arising that you feel like, I don't have this, and you feel like, okay, you can get it from porn, you can get it from masturbating. What is arising in you? What is sparking that? Right? And go beyond the pictures and, okay, she looks good, but what do you feel like you need from someone, right? What are you getting from that, right? What emotions are you getting? So I say the best way to really figure this one out too as well is to journal every day. When you journal every day, you find where your state is emotionally, and when you know where you are emotionally, then you can say, okay, cool. This day I felt sad, so this day I did this, and this. This day I was happy, but then I did this, and this course of action. So when you have your reflection time, you can go back to your journals and read and say, because I felt like this, and why did I feel like this that day? Because of this, this, and this. It helps you to relive those moments. And when you write it down on paper, it has a magical way of getting out of you and on paper, and it comes out of you, and you're able to really put that into words, visualize it, and put it in. And then now you have an action step on how to overcome whatever is bothering you. Like I said, when it's in your mind, you can play it like it's bigger than what it is. But when it's on paper, you know what it is, and you can go after it and hit it. So another big step right here is reconnect to your faith, right? So we all believe in something. I don't care what you believe in. We all believe in something. Every man believes in something, and I say this because I learned this from the military, right? Military taught me that hey, we all men believe in something, all men, and I truly believe that. You see, in the times of peril, in the times of greatest, when there's trouble or whatever there is going on, like who are you calling out to? Who are you praying to? Who are you worshiping? Whatever that looks like for you, right? I know for me, like my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, right? That's me, right? I believe in God, in the Christian sense, right? However, for each man, it may be different. Whoever is listening to this, but I tell you to reconnect with your faith because that is the source of where you get, where which you get your power, right? And understand that that personal power as well too to act upon whatever you believe as well, right? So another big thing that I did was no late night phone calls with females. So I say any conversation past 9 is not a good look for her or me, right? Unless we're in a relationship, unless we're married, past 9 conversations just don't go too well. That's why there's late night television. That's why Adult Swim and all those shows come on after a certain time because all the kids are asleep, right? Because you don't want them to hear or watch certain television, TV channels. And I'll say this, growing up, it was crazy because I remember when I was younger, and if I stayed up long enough, Girls Gone Wild would play as an infomercial on TV. And I would be like, oh man, I mean, as a young kid, I was just like, oh my god, like boobies, and I'll just be watching. But that's something that just stuck with me, right? I'm talking about me. I mean, in my childhood, something that I was young, but that rush, that I don't want to say it wasn't even hardcore, but to a kid my age, I mean, think about that. That just boom hit my eyes and it embedded into my memory, right? So yet again, at night the mind will go places. And I don't care how strong you say it, you think you can say just say no. Conversations past 9 p.m. with any girl is just not a good look. Protect yourself and your mind, and just protect yourself, and also protect your image. Any conversation with any woman past 9, especially I had to learn this. I really had to learn this the hard way. I really don't take conversations past 9 unless if I'm talking to a man, like that's fine. But even clients, like I really try to cut off all my client talk. Like at 7 o'clock. That way it gives me time to unwind, gives me some me time, gives me time to just, spend with the family, just hang out, especially as a single man. That I thoroughly believe that you really have to guard yourself a lot. You really have to put up, not say put up a lot of protections, but you have to be aware of your own triggers. You got to be aware of what's going on around you. And I think this is why it's so important that no late night conversations with females is because, like I said, it's easy for porn to creep in. It's easy for any thoughts to creep in at night, especially when you're on the phone with someone, even if you don't even like them like that. Guys, plenty of times I've been on the phone with people I don't like that, but just because she's a female, it's late at night, she might make a sound or whatever that just triggers something, and I'm just talking to a female like, hey, I don't know, boom, you know what I'm saying? It just happens like that, and then my mind goes somewhere, and then now I find myself watching porn and doing whatever. So next thing I'm telling you guys is track your progress. Right? We hate, I think people don't understand this, or not saying we hate doing this, but a lot of people, they don't like the process of tracking the progress, right? So I'm laid out for you pretty simple, right? Every day you don't watch porn, you're going to give yourself a star. You're going to either put it on your phone or a physical calendar. I use a physical calendar, just put a star every day that you don't, right? Give yourself a star. It's almost like an incentive program to not watch it, right? And you want your whole calendar to have all yellow stars on there, black stars, blue stars, whatever stars you like, right? But it's almost like an incentive program. And every time you do that, give yourself a gold star, and you're gonna be like, okay, cool. And at the end of the week, if I had like say if I had more than 5 stars, I'd buy myself some ice cream or something kind of reward myself when I had a good week. Right. So that was like my internal reward program for myself. And then the next thing I did, I started building healthy relationships with people. I know this sounds crazy, but I started building healthy relationships with females, especially with females and males. But I had a lot of great male relationships. But and what I mean by healthy relationships, I had to look at my relationships that I currently had, and I had to evaluate, hey, by me hanging out with this person, is it pushing me closer to the kind of man I want to be, or further away from the kind of man I want to be? And that allowed me to really cut some people off, right? And even on Instagram, people I was following that were my friends, I was like, you know what? We can still be friends, but I just can't follow you because certain triggers that happen to me, right? Maybe at a later date when I'm able to say no, right? When that stuff doesn't trigger me, I'll follow you. But for now, I can't, right? So I would let go a lot of friends, and to me that was okay. That was fine to me because I understood like, hey, there's certain things, certain places I want to be. There's a certain type of man I wanted to be. So I couldn't keep doing the same thing, right? I couldn't keep living the same way. I couldn't keep having the same relationships, right? Because your network is your net worth, right? So in that same instances, people talk more mainly about money when they say that, but I'm saying like physically, emotionally, mentally, right? If your network is very strong mentally, if they're very strong emotionally, if they're very capable of handling themselves, very self-aware, and if you hang out with them, you're gonna start being more strong physically, more strong emotionally, more self-awareness is gonna come to you because you're gonna see them doing that introspection all the time, and you're gonna want to do your own introspection. And you're gonna want to take it a day at a time, especially with this, right? So I want to say when you're building these relationships, right? Understand relationships will help you become more aware of what you're feeling and who you're attracting to yourself as well. All right. So these relationships that you build, understand this is not just because okay, I need to build healthy relationships, but understand the people that you're gravitating towards, right? You gotta understand, like, look at them and analyze them and say, okay, what are they missing, or what are they seeking out of life, right? Ask them these questions, right? And when you get a response, listen to what they say, listen to how they feel, listen to the type of people they date, because naturally we gravitate to the people that we're most alike. So if that's us, then if we have that problem, likelihood our friends probably have that problem as well. So there's a reason why millionaires hang out with millionaires. There's a reason why crackheads hang out with crackheads. There's a reason why porn stars hang out with porn stars. There's a reason why rappers hang out with rappers. There's a reason why people that smoke weed hang out with people that smoke weed. People that go to church hang out with people that go to church. Like it's science, right? And it's not hard, but you just have to become self aware of what you're doing. Like look at your circle and say, okay, cool. Like are these people the right people for me? And if they're not, be strong enough to walk away and be strong enough to say, okay, you know what? I can't be friends with you because of this, and this. Now let me go find my new group of friends that's gonna help me and that's gonna help me get to where I need to go. Right? You only get one life. You only get one life, right? And no one's ever been to the other side and come back and said, oh well, don't worry, guys, on the other side it's like this, right? We don't know. No one knows. So, and especially I want to tell you this is lastly, if you take nothing away, I want you to understand, and we all know if you're in a group, you know that we're long term focused, right? You're not gonna build the power to say no overnight, but be in the long game for this. Don't be in the short game, be in the long game for this, right? And what does that mean? That means that if you don't do this for 2 weeks and then expect to see amazing results, right? Don't do it for 2 weeks and you see amazing results, and then week 3 you crash and burn, and then you're like, oh man, this thing doesn't work. No, this thing works because you have to put in work, right? This is not a simple 7-step program. Okay, boom, I'm done, I'm good. No, you have to put in work consistently. This is a forever thing. This is until you die. You have to, every day you wake up, you have to make the choice and say, you know what? Boom, I'm going to say no. And even if I say yesterday and I count it as a failure, right? The next day, I'm going to get up and I'm going to make the right choice again. I'm going to make the right choice again. Right? This is a battle tested strategy, course of action, because I've done it. I have done it and I have overcome. Days I wake up, I'm like, you know what? No. I have the power to say no to it, right? And I know you men that are listening, it's even you women, your husbands will be able to say no. Your sons, right, can say no. And even your daughter that's listening, she can say no. Trust me. But men, I'm talking to you, single men especially. You can say no. You don't have to say yes. You don't have to listen to society's views about you being a man and it's okay and it's natural, right? You don't have to kill yourself watching porn. You don't have to be so addicted to this thing that it's driving your perspective, your worldview, the way you dress, the way you walk, the way you talk, right? It's hijacking your relationships. You don't have to let it do that to you. So, men, what I want to say is be long-term focused with this, okay? And understand, I want you to take it a day at a time. You don't have to think about next week from now. Every day brings enough battles within it, right? You win the war by winning each battle. You don't win the war by focusing on the whole war. You win the war by winning the battle. Every day you're gonna win the battle. Every single day, win the battle. And then when you connect with your group, with your inner circle, you're gonna tell them about each and every battle, right? And you're gonna track it. And you're gonna be honest with them. That way, they can equip you and they can arm you. So the next time you go into battle, you can make the right choices. Or the next time, if you're already making the right choices, you can be better equipped. So with that being said, I want to kind of recap this for you, especially is number one, be honest with yourself, right? And stop lying about where you are. Build your inner circle. Identify what you're missing emotionally, feelings, whatever you're missing in life, right? Reconnect with your fate. No late night conversations with females. Track your progress and build healthy relationships, and especially be long-term focused. I'll tell you this, the one thing I tell you, if you build your inner circle, everything else will become easier. Everything else will become so much easier. Because if you build the right inner circle, they're going to hold you accountable. They're going to show you what you're missing. They're going to help you reconnect with your faith. They're going to give you ground rules that you need to play by. They're going to show you how to track your progress. They're going to show you how to do this. And especially join us in our One Choice, One Habit group, right? And there's other men in there that are definitely going to help you, okay? So with that being said, guys, love you guys. If you have any questions, any comments, concerns, leave them below. Let's talk about it. And let's keep growing. Remember, you have power in your choice. Hey, my good friend, thank you for listening. Reviews matter, so please leave us a review so other amazing people just like you can find us and listen to us. Also, remember to join us in our free Facebook group so we can build a real relationship and get to know each other. And you will find other extraordinary men and women on similar journey as you. Do not forget, take action on just one thing you heard today. Get a result from that and grow from your experience from that result. You have power in your choice. Until next time, my good friend, I'll see you later. This is Coach B.